Okay, so this is just a quick video discussing some of the more interesting stuff that's happened with this recent snapshot. There's some fun stuff. We've got this, which is uh, yeah, you can have multiple items output from from a smelting recipe, as in not multiple different items, multiple of the same item, rather than just one, which you were limited to before. So now these are all different variants of cooking recipes. I think that's what they're called in loom mappings, which is what I'm used to. Uh, right. So my name's Annabeth. I am a Minecraft modder. I've been working on a library mod called Aquifer for a little while, and the name was created by my partner Montana. So the interesting thing that I want to talk about, and what interested me, and how it relates to Aquifer, is this section. All of these tags that have been added. So let's, first of all, go over all of them. We have supports vegetation, which, yeah, is basically one tag. Previously, it only checked if it was in the dirt tag or was farmland, I believe. So supports vegetation is a much more versatile tag that allows you to put other things in there. It's actually better than what I have in here because the tags I added are dirt-like and farmland-like here. Oh yeah, that's basically what Aquifer does. It has a lot of these tags. As you can see, we have dirt-like, farmland-like. Those would basically be replaced by... This tag would basically be a combination of those two tags. I'll probably keep those tags around as some sort of useful thing, but I'd basically have them go into this tag, and I'd have farmland-like go into this tag. Basically, what dirt-like is blocks that are similar to dirt, but aren't dirt in the normal dirt tag, and farmland-like is blocks that are like farmland, but aren't farmland. Alright, up next we have support stem crops, which is basically this, but specifically for pumpkin and melon stems, which, again, basically takes over the job of this tag. And then the next one is sugarcane, which was something I was missing until I added it much more recently. These two sugarcane tags, obviously they don't have the exact same how do you call it, name, like rather than supports sugarcane and supports sugarcane adjacently, I use sugarcane may grow on and sugarcane may grow beside. So basically the same thing. And this, and if you're wondering how I implemented it, I implemented it through a lot of mix-ins. Like, I'm just gonna pick a random one here. We have stem block, which is for stem crops, which, as you can see, the tag that's referring to is farmland-like. And also, this is config-related stuff. This part here, basically, you can make it so that it never goes back to vanilla behavior. The default value is that if this check doesn't pass, it just falls back to vanilla behavior, which is how this is supposed to work. So this part never happens unless it's set to strict. I don't know why I added that, I just felt like it. More config options is probably a good thing. So that's this. Next we have supports cactus. Again, that's right there. That's where that is. And then we have supports coarse plant, supports chorus flower, which two separate tags that are other than chorus may grow on. And I imagine this one just contains endstone, while this one will just contain endstone, while this one will contain endstone as well as chorus plant itself. Supports nether sprouts, as well as supports warped roots and supports crimson roots are separated tags that are all nether plant may place on. So rather than just having one tag, it's helpfully 3 different tags. And of course, these supports warp fungus, supports crimson fungus. That's nether fungus may place on, being split into 2 tags there. So that's good. We also have supports azalea. Azalea bush may place on here. This one is an interesting one because I think there's a world gen tag that a tag that gets checked in world gen that's related to azalea, but doesn't actually get checked by the azalea itself, which is a bit weird. But these 2 supports mangrove propagule, supports hanging mangrove propagule. Those are these ones. Propagule may plant on top, propagule may grow under. So that's that. Supports netherwort. That is replacing netherwort growable here. And then we have, already talked about these 2. Supports wither rose. I do not believe... Oh yeah, here it is. Wither rose may place on. So that tag is being... will basically be removed whenever I update this library to 26.1. Supports cocoa. Again, cocoa may grow on. Supports lily pad, I don't actually have, and supports frog spawn, I don't actually have, so I'll probably add those in here. But I'll do that at some point. Support override cactus flower. This version of Aquifer I'm working with is not for a Minecraft version that has the cactus flower. So let's not worry about that. Cannot support seagrass, cannot support kelp. Those are, again, interesting tags. I'll have to look into what seagrass and kelp are looking at now to see how it works and what would go in these tags. These ones are tags that exist. Supports small drip leaf, supports big drip leaf. These tags are all existing, so I don't need to worry about them at all. Same with these ones, they already exist. Grows crops is basically the same thing, which I don't get why it's separate from supports crops, but whatever. And then we have enables bubble column drag down and enables bubble column push up. Now, I do have those tags. I have upwards bubble column source blocks, downwards bubble column source blocks, which that's what they've named in code here, but they'll be bubble column source blocks /up. So this is like a folder, and this would be the actual file right here, which if I scroll down to, I don't need that open. So if I go into here, here it is. Go into here, go into Aquifer, tags, block, and I go into here, and you got this, which is just a magma block, and this, which is soul sand, right there. So that's great. And then, of course, these are fluid tags, and these both would contain water and flowing water, or they would just reference the, I think they'd probably, this one would check this one. Again, I actually have that if we scroll down past these item tags and all the way to fluid tags, we have this. We also have a bunch of this stuff, which we'll get to in a minute because I'll be going over the tags that weren't added. And bubble columns can occupy is not something that I have in this. So we're probably going to deal with the lily pad and frog spawn stuff. Going to worry about as well as these. I'm going to see if I can add them to versions of Aquifer before 26.1, because I don't have a version of Aquifer before 26.1, so just add them to Aquifer in general. And yeah. Up next, so let's talk about the tags that weren't added that I have at Aquifer. A bunch of these tags may seem like they're just kind of like there, but they do serve a function. Crafting tables. By default, so for example, by default, the various like GUIs for blocks like the crafting table, the loom, do not actually work if you make a custom loom. Like it'll open and immediately close because it does because the custom loom is not valid for it. So basically what these tags are is I've basically gone in and I've made it so that, hey, actually we want, see, it can use, we've basically check if it's in the looms tag, and then we go, yep, true, and also a bunch of other stuff, which we're not going to worry about what this does. That's just this is just me copying some of the vanilla logic, but making it work for tags rather than a single block. This is not actually currently needed for anvils, I want to say, because anvils already check the tag. So if you add a block to the anvil tag and make a custom anvil that way, it will work fine. I don't think it works with smithing tables, so that tag is necessary. Fletching tables is also a tag that if fletching tables get a screen, then of course, then this tag will be very helpful, but for now, not that helpful. All right, other tags that I have in here that these tags, currently the advancements will just refer to all of the different copper blocks, waxed and unwaxed, individually, rather than putting them all into one big tag to check. So if you had custom copper blocks, have fun trying to find a workaround to make them work with those advancements, or just have them not work with those advancements and leave the inconsistency. But basically what this is, how this works, how I set this up to work actually is I made these advancements. So this checks, completes wax off advancement. This one's vanilla. Checks, and then when you get this helper advancement here, it runs this function, which I have, no, not there, right here. And all it does is it just runs this command to give you the advancement. And that's it. By default, I actually made them include the vanilla blocks. I do not care, Eclipse. Okay with them being open in Notepad++. It's Notepad++. It's pretty good. But basically what it does is it just goes. Basically this just gives you the advancement, and I have the tag including all of the vanilla copper blocks. Or the vanilla waxed copper blocks, because this is the wax off advancement. So this is all of them in alphabetical order because I use DataGen to make these because I'm lazy. But yeah, you got both of these. Other ones that aren't included is this one, cannot connect to, which I'm gonna have to explain how this one works. So I'm going to show you what the tag contains. It also contains these two, which are custom tags for stuff with my other mods, so don't worry about these. Similarly, I included this fabric tag right here, this conventional tag that comes default with fabric. I just included that. But, well, with Fabric API anyway. But yeah, this is all of the blocks that would exist in it normally. You got the leaves and shulker boxes tag, as well as pumpkin, melon, jack-o'-lantern, carved pumpkin, and barrier. And basically, what this is this is a hard-coded thing of various blocks that fences, panes, walls, blocks like that can't connect to. So a fence won't connect to a barrier block or to leaves. And basically, it's hard-coded, which is basically what pretty much all of these tags are meant to alleviate, is the hard coding. So this tag, I don't know if they would add this tag, but basically what this is, it's just fences, walls, panes can't connect to. Maybe this tag's name could be a bit more descriptive about what blocks can't connect to it, but probably not that important to worry about right now. Then we have these two. We got End Crystal might place these three. End Crystal might place on Signal Fire base blocks, Conduit activating blocks. So this one just includes Bedrock and Obsidian, which I'll show right here. So, oh yeah, because conventional tags included this one. But yeah, it's just Obsidian and Bedrock. And those are the only tags that blocks in this tag, not Crying Obsidian, because you can't actually place End Crystals on Crying Obsidian in vanilla. But if you want to make it so you can place End Crystals on Crying Obsidian in vanilla, you can't. If you used Aquifer, you could, because you could just extend this tag and it would work. So that's this. Signal Fire base blocks is... Okay, so this is for campfires. So when you have a hay bale under a campfire, the smoke goes higher. This tag basically changes that from being hard-coded to being something that you can extend, and by default includes this. Conduit activating blocks include Sea Lanterns, Prismarine Bricks, and Dark Prismarine. So there's not much else to it. So well, these are meant to just extend the various different Shears things. This is so actually I can show it in here. So we got this one obviously includes these three tags, as well as Tripwire, Hanging Roots, Dead Bush, Fern, Shortgrass, Cobweb. Those are all different blocks that Shears apparently can mine that aren't any of these. And these are basically different mining speeds that Shears has, because Shears are weird, actually. So in Fast, we got Leaves, and also these are tags that are just for custom blocks that don't worry about those right now. Here we have Wool, and in here we got Vine and Glow Lichen, just very, very specific things in there. The next thing, these tags I don't actually have them doing anything, I just included them just for fun. These are just me doing weird stuff with conventional tags. And then we can move on to item tags, because this did not add any item tags at all. So let's go over item tags that we have. Scroll past all this. And the first one that does something, well, the first few that do something are these. Basically, these are item tags that are immune to different types of damage. There is a component that makes an item fireproof, but currently explosion-proof items are hard-coded to just be another star, and there are no items that do this. But yeah, so if you go into item damage-proof, we got Cactus, it's empty, as you can see. Same with despawn-proof items, as well as void-proof items. Basically, how void-proof items work, set up for void-proof items to work, is the item, when entering the void, when it takes void tick, will just get teleported to the top of the world. So when it ticks in the void, which is a specific thing that it can do. Despawn proof, basically, there is a way to set an item to never despawn. So all it does is if an item's in that, the item entity just gets set to never despawn. The only ones that actually have anything, of course, are explosion proof, which has another star, also refers to this conventional tag, because of course it does, and fireproof, which refers to some conventional tags, but also all of the existing netherite items and ancient debris. So if you had custom netherite items or other items, throw them in here. Of course, if you're adding them, you can just give them the fireproof component, but I don't know. I think I prefer the tag approach over making fireproof a component, personally. So, yeah, here it is. And then we have these. These are tool materials which can be used for repairing the tool in question in an anvil. There's no, as you can see, there's no stone one because there actually is a vanilla stone tool materials tag, so I didn't need to add that. But we got wood, iron, diamond, gold, netherite. Basically, wood tool material. These four will only refer to just the one vanilla item. So, for example, if I open up, where is one netherite tool materials? There's also the conventional item tag here, but yeah, we have netherite ingot right there. Wood tool materials is a bit different because it will actually refer to the Minecraft planks tag right here rather than any specific item. So that's that. Then we have armor ones. These are just the normal armor that, the player can wear. These are okay, well, the player can wear armor made from the turtle armor materials. So I don't know why these are separate, but it's just how I formatted the file, I guess. And this is, of course, armadillo armor materials, or wolf armor. It's just made from armadillo scutes, so I just called it that. And as you can hear, is armadillo scute. That's the only item. We have elytra repair materials, which will just include the phantom membrane. So that's most of the item tags, and then the rest of them are a bit more miscellaneous. We got elytra, we got respawn anchor charge items, which is basically items you can use to charge up your respawn anchor. This one, by default, will of course only include glowstone. Then we have enchantment payment items, which, by the way, was a pain in the butt to get the mix-in working because I had to figure out which anonymous interclass that was. Be glad you have. If you don't know what that is, just be thankful you don't have to know what that is right now. But yeah, this one, conventional item tag here, as well as the vanilla lapis lazuli. I know lapis is in this, but I do not care. Redundancy is fine, actually. Powder snow walkable equipment is one that I recently noticed when playing with buckets. Playing with buckets is just another thing that I was worrying about with aquifers. Don't worry about it too much, but yeah. Just leather boots. It will specifically only check the I think actually powder snow has specifically items that will prevent you from freezing if you're wearing leather. I should probably make it so that's a tag thing too. Yeah, I'll worry about that after I'm done talking about this. As well, we have copies of these tags, which use them however you want. And then, of course, this waxables is just honeycomb. It's just items that you can use to wax something. So we have honeycomb in here, and that exists specifically. I used it to edit some vanilla crafting recipes. Like if I actually go up into here, data, Minecraft recipe, we have all of these, which is basically just I stole the vanilla recipe and I replaced the Minecraft honeycomb entry here with a tag that is aquifer waxables. Basically meaning that if you add other items that can wax blocks, there you go. You just add it to this tag and it'll work fine. I took care of it. You don't need to worry about it. Similarly, if you go into wax on helper, it refers to this tag rather than to just honeycomb only. So that's that. And then, of course, we just have this one fluid tag, which I'm going to add the other fluid tags that that was being shown in. That would be, yeah. Okay. So this is sugarcane magropicide. Fluid tag. Already talked about that. Can spawn on leaves because mobs that can spawn on leaves are hard-coded to be ocelot and parrot. At least in 1.21.1. I don't know if that ever changed. And then here we have just a bunch of tags that are just, is this mob immune to this effect? Behold, mobs that are immune to Wither, which actually for the most part, these tags are going to be empty. Shockingly, but I believe there are a few that will have mobs actually. So if you want a mob that can't be affected by glowing, you can add that. I think that would be actually kind of an interesting one. Most of these would be kind of useless. Like, adding a mob that can't be affected by mining fatigue is stupid. I also don't recommend putting the player in this, unless you want to never be able to obtain How Did We Get Here? So, yeah. But, this actually references a vanilla tag. Minecraft ignores poison and regen. And then... But basically, I made them specific as well. Oozing, and I believe the other one might be infested, I want to say. Yeah, those ones have vanilla tags. But they have a bug, and I'll get to that in a second. At least in this version, they have a bug. And Wither, of course, is the Wither, and the Wither skeleton are immune to Wither. So, that's fun. Anyway, alright. Let's talk about the bug. The bug that these, tags have. So, I'm just gonna minimize all that because I'm weird like that. So it's actually in living entity. This is the mixin, which not only fixes the bug, but it also not only fixes the bug, and this is the one time I'm actually going to show some amount of Minecraft source. So can have I just do this and then I just jump over to here. Here it is. This is the tag that is okay, so let's go over to the flow here. So let's say, okay, so the mob's immune to infested. It will say, okay, if it's not infested, then the how do I put this? The mob can have the status effect if it's not infested. This is where things get interesting. If it's immune to infested, then we're never going to check if it's immune to oozing. Which means if it's immune to infested, it literally can't be immune to oozing. Do you see where the problem is? Because of how this works, you check it would be better because the effect can't be more than one thing, right? It can't, so the status effect can't be infested. It can't be oozing. Like, it can't both be infested and oozing. It would make more sense if we were to do if the status effect is infected, return not entity this .get type that is in entity type tags immune to infested. Would make this so that you can make it both immune to infested and immune to oozing. Probably the main reason why this actually got through is there were no mobs that by default were going to be both immune to infested and immune to oozing. As a result, this managed to get past, which yeah. But yeah, basically this basically means that, but what I did here is made it so that if a mob, but here, what I'm checking actually is, well, first of all, I'm checking if there is an actual tag for the effect, because custom effects might not come with a tag. If you add a custom effect, please add a custom tag related to it. And you're using Aquifer, would be great. I could probably dynamically generate a bunch of them, but that would be annoying. So, yeah. And then it checks if the entity is in the effect, and what it's basically, and actually we already are checking the effect here, because we're getting the specific tag for the effect that we're already checking, so we don't need to check. So we don't actually even need a long if-else chain. All we need is this. We can just get the specific tag and check if the entity's in that. So that's that. But yeah, fixed a bug. This that I didn't even like. I noticed the bug needed fixing before I did this. I was specifically I wasn't even going to do this until I realized that that bug existed. So I added it. So yeah, I'm gonna need to add in some additional tags, I guess. And yeah, this was a really dumb video that did not need to get made, but I kind of want to talk about some of this stuff and how cool it is that, Mojang went and actually added a good chunk of the tags I had in here, just under a different name, of course. With this, I like the convention though. I like that they've made it all into supports X, whatever X may be, the type of block. I like that that's what Mojang's done here. I think that that is definitely a better way to do it. Personally, I would have replaced these specific underscores with a slash, but it's not that big a deal. But I'll probably add these tags both for fluid and blocks. So supports lily pad, supports frog spawn for fluid and blocks. I'll put those on in aquifer. As well as I might actually include this tag. Actually, because if I can find a way to make it work. If not, then don't worry about it for me. I really don't need to worry about it. As well, these two, I'm gonna see about including those. So other than that, that's everything. So, yeah, thanks for watching. If you actually watched all of this, probably not that interesting video. That probably was kind of painful to watch because I did not script anything before doing this because I was like, you know what, just improvise everything, it's fine. Don't just improvise everything, people. Some actually script things. It's probably better to do that. Anyway, bye.